Hello, BookTube. I wanted to make a quick reminder video here of the other place on YouTube where you can hear me talk about books uh, in a completely different setting, in a completely different tone and tenor. That is the Cedarburg Public Library in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. I'm always tempted to say scenic Cedarburg, Wisconsin, but let's be realistic here. uh, the Jeff Messerburn at the Cedarburg Public Library had the cockamamie idea to do a books related show for the Cedarburg Public Library radio station. Uh, and he contacted me years ago to do this, to do something connected with books. And ever since then, he has been learning to his horror the true meaning of that old phrase, never meet your heroes. uh, Nevertheless, it's too late. I'm never going to let him go. I have found the producer of my dreams. And we have eventually settled on a regular program, Books of the Week. CPL Radio's Books of the Week, which we do. We film every week, and then Jeff posts it whenever he gets around to it, on Monday, or I think in this case Tuesday, where we talk about new releases. One new release of nonfiction, one new release of fiction, and then a group of wild cards where Jeff, who actually does the book buying for his library, picks a bunch of books from his library, new releases, older stuff, and hurls them at my face, uh, which takes advantage of two facts that are a bit rare. Number one, uh, the library's purchasing guy is the one who he's gets to pick these books, which is not usual online. And two, the critic at whose head he's throwing these books has read more than any other critic, including more new releases. So it won't just be, as it would be with almost any other critic, gee, I don't know anything about that book. Oh, gee, I don't know anything about that book. Oh, gee, I don't know anything about that book. In fact, some of you wags out there have taken to keeping a running tally of the books that Steve doesn't know about on the wild card segment. We have a blast. Jeff and I have a blast. I have always said that Books of the Week, we are perfectly willing to talk about serious subject matters. We are perfectly willing to dive into controversial books, but we're enjoying ourselves while we're doing it, and you will too. You will finish any episode of Books of the Week with a smile on your face, which can be pretty valuable if times are dark or if your day is a little bit on the dull side. Uh, and uh, so I wanted to do a video where I sort of mention that, remind you of that. And I'll leave a link to our YouTube channel, because in addition to podcasting, wherever podcasts can be heard, we do the YouTube video too. We film it, and it's worth bookmarking. It's worth seeing the new videos as they come out. And for that YouTube channel, I say all the things that I don't say for this YouTube channel. For Books of the Week, I say share it, like it, leave a comment, support it in all sorts of ways. The only typical YouTuber call to action that I don't say is don't hit the bell for notifications. Don't do that. Don't have your machine notify you about anything. Your machine should not be asking for your attention. No machine should be. You're not important. So you don't need to be notified when the instant that you get some new email or somebody likes an Instagram photo of your cat. Turn off all notifications. So I'm not saying that, but I am saying all the rest of it. Go over, leave a comment for the algorithm, share it if you want, that sort of stuff. Because the more successful the channel is, the more real world metrics we can show to any aspect of the bureaucracy that, of course, accompanies any library that might want to shut it down for whatever reason. The more we can show when those dark moments come, and they're almost inevitable in a bureaucracy, when those dark moments come, it's really helpful for the people involved with any program to be able to say, this is not just a vanity exercise. Look at these metrics. This is popular. This is successful. This does well. That can mean a lot. So I urge you to go over there and do that. The new episode that went up, I think, today was an attempt on Jeff's part to lighten the mood just a bit. I can be awfully critical of new releases, so we decided to talk about kids' books this episode. Just talk about kids' books. Not only recommend a bunch of kids' books, but also, crucially, talk about them in ways that I can't do on this channel. Jeff can actually talk about how they do at the library, or what they're like at the library. That is just fascinating. And also, in addition to recommending that video and also to recommending the channel, the Cedarburg Public Library Books of the Week has a Patreon. And the banner runs on the bottom of every video so that you can go and check it out. The link is there at all times. So that if you want, you can go and contribute a few kopecks for us to do Patreon only content. Now keep in mind, Jeff and I don't get that money. That goes to the Friends of the Cedarburg Public Library, who are the indispensable group that does, well, your own library has friends too, so you'll know what they are. They do everything. The Friends are indispensable to a library. In part, not exclusively, but in part because they are not touched by the whims of that civic bureaucracy to which a library is at the beck and call. The Friends are not subject to that, and so they can do a lot. Your friends deserve your support, but if you have a little extra change and you want to support the Friends of the Cedarburg Public Library, and by extension, the Cedarburg Public Library Books of the Week program, feel free to go over and do that. Jeff and I are slowly, awkwardly working out a pattern where we can film Patreon-only content. And the latest Patreon-only video that we did, I don't know if it's up on the channel, but the latest one that we did threatened to run out of control because Jeff works at a library, loves books, buys books for his library. I, of course, am an inveterate reader and critic. But boy, oh boy, do we love to talk about movies. Both of us do. And we feed off each other. We just start bouncing obscure line quotes off each other. And that are obscure, not to us, but to anybody listening. And we fell into movie talk in our latest Patreon video. It was bid fair. We could easily have gone for 2 hours. We didn't, but we easily could have. So there is something there for patrons of CPL Radio's Books of the Week, just in case you're interested in doing that. So I'll leave a link to everything down below. It's an enormous amount of fun, and fun can sometimes be in short supply. So I thought I'd remind you of it. So anyway, I'll wrap this up. I'll leave all the pertinent links, and I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.